So who had the better rookie season, Tim Duncan or Victor Wembanyama?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs, right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. Hope everybody's having a great Spurs offseason. It's going to be a long one, but we'll get you through it right here on Locked On Spurs. As always, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Follow us and subscribe to us wherever you get your favorite podcasts, such as iTunes, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube, and so much more. Today's episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. Look, I admit it, I have a competitive side, and it's a big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now for free at the App Store and Google Play. All right, so what are we talking about today? Catch up some brief Spurs news, just stuff you may have missed. And then we're going to bring in our guest, Sweep the League's very own Rudy Campos. We're going to be discussing who had the better rookie season, Tim Duncan versus Victor Wembanyama. And then talk about you guys, the Locked On Spurs fans. You guys are talking a lot about the silver and black over at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. But first, some Spurs news and notes you may have missed. Look, I'm a geek. Yeah, I think everybody knows that by now. Just look behind me. That pretty much sums it up. But if you're into Funko Pops like I am, well, this one's for you. We finally got the first look of Victor Wembanyama's Funko Pop. And I got to admit it, I'm disappointed. Funko had a great opportunity to give us one action posed Wemby, either blocking or dunking, just something. And then two, Funko does make tall pops. They're not just simply the little tiny ones that you see at the stores. They actually make some that are probably 3 times, even 2 times bigger or taller. And they didn't do that. And his pose, he's just boring. He's just there looking straight ahead in his Spurs black jersey with the ball by his side. That's it. But, you know, you Spurs fans, I know you're going to go and try to collect it, and it'll be coming out soon. Date of release unknown, but it is part of the NBA Pop series. It's number 174. So if you're a collector, that's the number you want to look for. 174, Victor Wembanyama. It's out right now. If you want to go look at it, go to kens5.com/Spurs and check it out for yourself. In other Spurs news, congratulations to your silver and black. The NBA announced they had the biggest jump in viewership on the NBA app. How much? They're number 1. So anytime somebody tuned into the NBA app to watch an NBA game, it was the Spurs. I think you know why. Wemby. That Wemby effect is impactful. The number 1, the biggest leap in NBA viewership on the NBA app. By the way, cracking the top 10 as far as which country is watching on the NBA app. Number 9, France. See a correlation there? So, yeah, the Wemby effect is real. Congratulations to the Spurs. Everybody else tuning into the silver and black. And you'll likely see that number continue to rise or at least stay put as Wemby continues his NBA career. In other Spurs news, look, Victor Wembanyama may not win the DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year. I think by now we know that's going to go to Gobert. But if left to his NBA peers, they would pick him as the NBA's just best defender. In a survey done by The Athletic, they anonymously asked a lot of players, hey, who's the NBA's top defender? Victor Wembanyama. That's who they picked. Heads way ahead of those that are finalists with him for the award, like Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, and others. At least his peers believe that Victor is the best defender in the NBA. So I guess that kind of matters more so, right? Look, Wembanyama's going to win a bunch of them. No big deal. He'll have a big shelf of DPOI awards soon enough. Also, that same survey, Popovich came in as the second coach that NBA players would love to play for. He came in at number 2. The number 1 coach NBA players want to play for, according to the survey, is Miami's Eric Spoelstra. So that's the coach that most NBA players want to play for. Second is Popovich. Hey, speaking of Wembanyama, the players were also asked, which player in the league right now would you want to start a team with? Wembanyama was number 1. It was close, though. Number 2 was the Joker, Nikola Jokic. I believe it was just by percentage points, but Wembanyama edged out the Joker for at least players' views, who they would like to start an NBA franchise with. So congratulations to Victor Wembanyama. and whatnot. Hey, real quick, the NBA announced that one, they finished all their tiebreakers for the NBA lottery. Spurs were not involved in any of that. It was just like Dallas and Toronto, a bunch of other teams. Okay. But the shakeout, though, now that that's over, we kind of know who has the percentages. The Spurs have now the fifth best odds to win the NBA draft lottery at about a little over 10%, 10.2% to win it all. Not doesn't sound like much, but just FYI, last year for the Victor Wembanyama draft, Spurs had a 10.2% chance to win it all. So hopefully we'll see if history and luck will play again for the silver and black. All right, there's your quick Spurs news and notes. Coming up next is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. We're going to be discussing, fun topic here, who had the better rookie season, Victor Wembanyama or Tim Duncan? I want to talk about PrizePicks. You want to go to PrizePicks right now because it's America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. Easiest, most exciting way to get into all the action while you watch your favorite sports and players play out on the field, the diamond, whatever it is, the basketball court. You want to go to PrizePicks. You just pick more or less than on 2 or more player stat projections, and you can start watching those winnings roll in. So here's what you get. There's so many things here. First of all, you can get in all the NBA playoff action right now, win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks as you and the world's best players take the game to the new level during basketball's postseason. You can also now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, and so much more. Entries on today on PrizePicks, America's #1 sports app. What else they got? Oh, they got quick withdrawals. They got Apple Pay. They got weekly promotions, special offers for the biggest moment in sports. In other words, they got it all. You can even submit your picks and entry in less than 60 seconds. So what are you waiting for? Go get PrizePicks app right now. I have it. You should get it too. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. You heard that right. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA. Get yourself a $100 deposit match. Well, at least up to $100 deposit match. So yeah, another reason why you got to check out PrizePicks. PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from the San Antonio Spurs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And we're joined now by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League, who defeated the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man during his awakening. They didn't need the Ghostbusters. They just needed you, Rudy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I sat back eating popcorn, watching the Ghostbusters attempt to defeat the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but what the camera doesn't see was what I did on ground level in New York City for him.
That's right. You took out his kneecaps and you just brought him down. It just so happened the Ghostbuster hit him with the laser beams. It just happened. It was coincidental. All kidding aside, he is the host of Sweep the League, part of the Alamo City Sports podcast on YouTube. We're going to give Rudy a chance to brag about that later on in this show. But my goodness. Oh, by the way, everybody, make sure to follow him on X at Sweep the League. By the way, everybody, heads up. It's going to be kind of a tough conversation we're about to have. We're going to pit 2 of the greatest rookies. That's it. We're just saying rookies only for the time being in Spurs history. Tim Duncan versus Victor Wembanyama. Who had the better rookie season? Can we find those little details that gives this person the edge or that person the edge? Should we even have to factor in roster, maybe the era? We're going to let Rudy handle that lifting. I'll handle the numbers. Rudy, before we dive into the back and forth, I mean, are the Spurs just blessed to have 2 of the greatest big men ever to wear their colors?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking Victor's the third in the great line of dominant big men that the San Antonio Spurs have had. Obviously, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. I mean, can't you probably say not draft-wise, but even go back to like Artis Gilmore. They've been blessed to have dominant big men in the NBA. But yeah, I mean, it was a great season for Victor. I mean, you can't put anything bad about it.
Yeah, you can. Now, look, obviously we know that Wemby has a long way to go, but we're looking at rookie stats, then we can say the same thing for Timmy. When he just had his first year, we're like, okay, well, let's see what he can do. And off he went, only winning titles. Now, maybe we'll have another lockdown show as far as projecting, how many Wemby titles he'll bring if he stays, blah, blah, blah. But we're just going to stick to numbers in this opening salvo here. So when I look at the stats only in the rookie season. Start off with Tim Duncan.
Mhm.
21.1 points per game, 11.9 rebounds, 2.7 assists, nearly a steal, 0.7, 2.5 blocks, 55% shooting from the field. I forget just how much of an impact TD had. When I read you those numbers, Rudy, my goodness. I mean, there's no doubt why he was named the NBA Rookie of the Year for that season.
Yeah, Timmy came in, like you said, 21 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, dominant guy for the San Antonio Spurs. And it's not a surprise why he was Rookie of the Year. I mean, all-star nods. I mean, everything that you could have imagined happened for Tim Duncan that year. He was in a perfect situation, drafted by the San Antonio Spurs, who had unfortunate luck the year before with David Robinson going down. You never wish injury upon anybody, but that injury, you could easily say, probably saved San Antonio Spurs basketball in San Antonio, because the team was so far in limbo, even with David Robinson, that we had no idea what they were going to stay in San Antonio. But nonetheless, Timmy coming in, having that fantastic season as a rookie. Oh, yeah, no. I was just saying, just having that fantastic rookie season. I mean, it's one of the more dominant rookie seasons we had seen in the NBA in quite some time.
It really was. And it's eerily similar, because we're now going to look at Victor's numbers here. Got them right here for everybody. Again, 21.4 points per game, very similar. Again, TD had 21.2 or 21.1, excuse me. 10.6 rebounds per game. So still, Tim in that department, teaming with the edge, 11.9. We go to assists per game, 3.9 for Victor, while Timmy had 2.7. So slight edge to Victor in that department. Steals, another edge to Victor, 1.2 steals per game. Recall, Tim Duncan had 0.7. And as far as blocks, I do have to read the numbers. Seriously. 3.6 blocks per game for Victor, while TD, again, just a reminder, had 2.5. Shooting percentage from the field, again, Victor had 46% shooting, so edge Tim Duncan there with close to 55%. Man, close numbers. Rudy, your thoughts?
Very close numbers. And, we kind of got to look at eras in a way, because in Timmy's era, the big man was probably still the dominant force in the NBA. You had a lot of dominant big men. But in Victor's era, to put up those kind of numbers at his height, being, 7'4", it speaks volumes, because this is not a big man league anymore. And I actually made a comment to Derek Irvin, one of my good friends there, and said, it seems like we're getting closer to being big man dominant again, but a hybrid big man with Joel Embiid, Jokic, and now Victor. We've got some young kids coming up too that are probably going to be, Chet Holmgren is another one. So, you're seeing the more dominant big men come back. But yeah, both numbers are very similar. And I can't wait to get into the debate of who had the better rookie season, because there's some stats that Victor had that just kind of blow Timmy out of the water.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll start out with why I think Timmy had the better rookie season. Simply put, he was an NBA All-Star in his rookie season. Wemby was in the race for one, but he ultimately did not get the nod. That just tells me that, at least at that time, Timmy had the better situation, the better, just season, because if he got recognized and to be added to the West team, Victor, not to say he did anything wrong, but he just, didn't work out. So I think if we're going to go with stats and facts only, I'm going to go with TD, simply because he made the All-Star squad. Victor didn't.
Yeah, that the All-Star not as big, but can we also maybe figure in the fact that Timmy was having a, I guess, a positive season record-wise, and a lot of that goes into effect. They're going to take a lot of the All-Stars from teams that are in playoff contention, that are having good seasons. So with Victor having, a stellar season on stat-wise and All-Star caliber season, a lot of people that were voting, even the fan votes. Fan votes count for so much for the starting five. It doesn't matter. But, for coaches and stuff, there's players that deserve the nod because of their record. And that's kind of where Victor fell short. I get it. It's an All-Star. You celebrate the players in All-Star games, and that's the way it should be. But I feel record played a part to where when Timmy was a rookie, the Spurs were one of the dominant teams in the NBA at the time. So, you're going to take, Tim Duncan with their stats that he had for All-Star game, not over Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. And look, look, Victor's gonna get the Rookie of the Year. It's gonna happen, But so did Tim.
Are we
Duncan
sure?
today. Yeah,
I'm
pretty
just playing.
sure.
I'm playing.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think maybe another deciding factor will be NBA all NBA teams, whatever number first, second, or third. I mean, the NBA has yet to announce that. Do you remember what rookie Tim Duncan got? Did he make an all NBA team in his rookie season? Let me pull that up real fast. But
yeah, we can take a look at that here in a second.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. I think that I'm pretty sure he did. But you look, but okay. Well, since you're gonna handle the eras, what do you think about the eras? Is it unfair because TD, or when I say unfair is the wrong word, but just different because TD was in the era of the major, big, dominant big men, as you mentioned. Wemby, kind of yes, but different in a way. But how much a factor of the rules are? NBA in TD's era was still little 90s ish, hadn't really turned into all offense, minimal defense, while Victor is playing in a very free flowing offense era. If you put Tim Duncan in today's league, I don't even know if he'll survive because he's so traditional. What do you think about that? TD in today's era, would he be dominant as he was in the 90s and the 2000s?
So if we're focusing on Tim Duncan rookie season in today's era, I don't see him probably averaging 21 points a game or so. I still think he's more dominant. And actually what I think you see the increase is you're going to see the increase on his defensive presence in today's era. The offensive side might be a little bit low because it's more of a run and gun type offense. You see more threes than 2-pointers half the time in some of these games because it's just a shooting man's game right now. And guard play is so, focused for teams that I think you start to see the irrelevance of the big man. I mean, then you say, well, look at, Jokic. Yeah, Jokic is a dominant force in the league. But one thing that, Joker does that Timmy didn't do is shoot the three ball. And he can shoot it very effectively. So that's what plays a part. And that's kind of why I say if you look at Victor's numbers in his rookie season, I feel for era-wise, he had the better rookie season just because he was shooting, I believe, 32% from three-point range, where Timmy, I don't even know if he even took a three his first year in the league. But, that's where you see the more, era fit for Victor because he can shoot the ball. He can handle the ball. We wouldn't be able to see Tim Duncan handle the ball, bringing it up the court in today's game. So, era plays a factor in a lot of stuff. And that's kind of where it's kind of hard to say, well, he had the better rookie season. He had the better rookie season because a lot of factors play. But stat-wise, I give the nod to Victor just a bit because of the shooting. But then again, people can argue, well, it's era ball. I mean, you got to be able to shoot in today's game. And mostly everybody can shoot in today's game, whether you're 7'4" or 6'1".
Yeah, and I was answering the question whether Tim Duncan was on an all-NBA team in his rookie season. Looks like he was. Here we go. Duncan is one of only 4 players to receive all NBA first team honors in each of his first 8 seasons. So he was in it. I do you think Victor will make an all NBA team? I think he will.
I've battled back and forth with it, but honestly, I think he makes all NBA third team. I think he makes third team. I can't see him first and I can't see him second right now, but I think if he gets him out of third.
Not for Tim Duncan then? Because Tim Duncan made it in the first all NBA team.
Yeah, I mean, again, if we're going by stats and accomplishments, Timmy probably does have the better rookie season. All NBA first team is everything, man. There's only 5 spots on there, so definitely I would probably give the nod to Tim on that.
All right, but what about now this is going to be kind of I don't want to use the word unfair, but we got to checks and balance. How's that?
Yeah.
Because if we go with roster, and this is where you'll be able to enlighten us here. Tim Duncan had the better roster, equally maybe a better individual performance, but at the same time, you could say, well, Victor didn't have a good roster like TD did, but he still put up good numbers. Would that be an edge, Wemby?
I like that you brought this up because the roster does make a huge factor. Wemby comes onto a team where he is 110% the focal point. I mean, Devin Vassell was the guy basically. So Victor came in where he was the absolute focal point. As to where Tim came in, don't get me wrong, Tim was the focal point, but you've also had all-stars in David Robinson and Sean Elliott. So that's where the factor comes in. Timmy had a great rookie season and was a lot asked of him. Not necessarily, not as much as it was for Victor. Everything was asked of Victor. He did everything on both ends of the court, defense and offense. He was the centerpiece. As where Tim came in, he was going to be the centerpiece. It wasn't exactly like he was the number one option now, because you still had David, even though coming back from injury, David had a good season. You still had Sean Elliott, but also you had the other factors, Jeff, where Victor had, Zach Collins, Cedi Osman, Devontae Graham, and, Keldon Johnson, these guys that were considered veterans. Timmy came in with a really stacked veteran squad. And when I say stacked, I'm talking, he had Chuck Person his rookie season, the rifleman who'd been around. You had a big man like Will Perdue to lean on, not only with David Robinson, but Will Perdue as well. Avery Johnson, who's probably one of the better floor leaders in the game at the time. He just had a lot more. Not only that, Monty Williams was there too. So, he had a lot more veterans coming in to help him, guide him, as to where Victor didn't in his rookie season.
Isn't that I'm arguing against myself now in my position that TD had the better one, but that's still a nod to Wemby, right? Because Wemby did more with less.
Yeah, and that's why I said I think if you're looking at it overall, Wemby probably had the overall better rookie season than Tim. Because I hate to use the fact Tim had more help. He did have a lot of help. He just had a lot of veteran presence. Wemby was the main guy. He was the focal point. He was the only option really on this team. Yeah, you saw Jeremy and Devin have games from time to time. Wemby had some struggles time to time. But I guess we could put it this way. You were asked more from Wemby than you did of Tim the rookie season. Wemby, on that case, produced, even though record doesn't show it. Give Wemby the team that Timmy had, it's a different story.
Yeah. Now, Tim Duncan in his rookie season was named to the All-NBA defensive second team in his rookie season. Victor likely is going to get first defensive team. He has to. Look, he's not going to get the defensive player of the year the way the votes are shaping up. But if he doesn't get on the first All-NBA defensive team, that's another highway robbery right there, Rudy.
Yeah, he deserves to be All-NBA defensive first team. That's a must. I don't care, if Gobert wins the defensive player of the year or whatever, but if you look at another big man that they could probably put, people are talking Jaren Jackson. He had a way better year than Jaren Jackson did. So there's no reason why he doesn't make All-NBA defensive first team. But again, I think he still gets a nod on the third team for All-NBA total wise. It's kind of hard, man. I started thinking about a little bit more. If you put Timmy with Boston, where he was originally supposed to go his rookie season, they didn't qualify. They didn't make the playoffs that season. I think their best player was Antoine Walker at the time. So, does Timmy have a better rookie year than Victor if he's in a Celtics uniform? Probably not. I don't think, man.
Probably not. Yeah. Another factor why I'm giving Tim Duncan the better rookie season over Wemby was because Tim Duncan won each and every Rookie of the Month award. Victor didn't at all. Victor won the last 3, I believe, or something like that. Well, Chet Holmgren picked up a couple. Timmy won them all every single month.
But it's also the fact, too, Timmy's rookie class, I think, Chauncey Billups, Ron Mercer, Keith Van Horn. Not a bad rookie class, but then you've got –
But Victor's class – ultimately wasn't that strong. The only competition he had was Chet. And, Scoot had a horrific rookie season. He's got better towards the end. Brandon Miller, I don't even know what he did. He was so quiet. And then that was pretty much it. Pacheski from Golden State, I don't know. But,
well, yeah, you're right on that. And the only thing is that Chet wasn't considered a rookie this season. Victor sweeps it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but what do you think about that? Okay, so I'm saying edge Tim Duncan again because winning all Rookie of the Month awards. But Rudy, would you factor in your argument that Wemby had the better rookie season because the Spurs kind of held him back?
Oh man, that's a great point. I would say that's
a factor going up against him. They had the Sohan point guard failure.
Yeah,
didn't work out. Then they went to Malachi. Okay. And then there was limiting minutes. How does that factor in?
It factors in a lot, to be honest with me. And before, we get a lot of YouTube comments, Jeff. So before I get corrected, everybody's going to say, well, Tracy McGrady was in the Tim Duncan draft. Tracy McGrady wasn't Tracy McGrady for a couple of years. I can't factor that in his rookie season. But nonetheless, that's huge because in Victor's rookie season, you saw experiments. And now, while obviously the Sohan experiment wasn't great, you saw better stats for Victor when Trey Jones, again, he gets mentioned on the show. Trey Jones is starting point guard for the San Antonio Spurs. You see Keldon going to the bench. I mean, it played a lot of different factors because you want consistency as a player. You want to be able to know for 82 games, barring injury, you're going to have the same, style of play. You're going to have the same players with you, the same starters, stuff like that. So it played a huge part. And to consider the fact, I kind of think, okay, maybe Victor kind of gets more of a nod, in my opinion, now because he had to go through so many changes throughout the season, plus the minute restriction that Pop put on him, because Timmy never had a minute restriction in his first year in San Antonio. So it's kind of like, did they hold him back? I would say maybe a little bit. There are some times where they did hold him back, and we don't know why. And unless we can tie Pop to a chair and give him a torture rack or something, Frank can tell us, we'll never know.
Yeah. Again, all things considered, I still think Tim Duncan had the better rookie season. I mean, not by much. I'm not saying it's a landslide. I'm not at all. I'm not saying, it's obviously Tim Duncan. No, I think if you look at it pound for pound, and Mike looking at stats and honors only, then Timmy gets it. And also, too, rookie season, they went to the playoffs. Rookie season, Wemby, they didn't go to the playoffs. 22-win season. But then those arguments for Wemby come in again. He did more with less, all things considered. And who knows? Maybe the Spurs didn't want wins again this year. Because there's some things that leave you at your head, you're scratching your head like, why don't you put Trey Jones at starting point guard? Why do you bury Devontae Graham, Mr. Offensive generator, instantly? Why do you tell Wemby, sure, Wemby, do whatever you want. Oh, now we think you're a center. Stay at the center, and he explodes on the scene. So there's so many things there. But how close is it in your eyes? Victor versus TD rookie season, who had the better season?
I would say, I'm going to say this. It's probably point. If I have to go percentage wise, it's so close. It's probably 0.1, 0.2%.
I thought you were going to say 0.4.
Oh, point. Yeah. I don't want to get thrown off with Locked On Spurs forever, man. Now I would say it's like 0.1, 0.2. I mean, it's so close that the numbers are identical, and where Timmy dominates one, Victor dominates another. The only things you can point to are record, which again, you can't fault Victor on the record part. I mean, Tim Duncan's roster was extremely stacked compared to Victor, so you kind of got to cross those out. Then accomplishments, they're both going to be rookie of the years. Timmy had the All-NBA team, which again, that takes precedence. But, then you've got Victor probably going to make an All-NBA team, albeit the third team. Then again, you go, okay, he made All-NBA third team with a subpar roster. So it's like, how close is it? I mean, it's so minimal that you can almost just say it's a guaranteed tie, man. That's what I say.
Oh no, not going with the tie. I'm going Tim Duncan. I can't. I think TD statistically, honors wise, in his rookie season, just edges out a Wemby alone. And I hear your arguments. Better team around Tim Duncan, a veteran laden team. Didn't have to do much. I hear all that, but you can't ignore the rookie season TD had. I mean, it was just. I mean, I forgot he was all first team NBA. I mean, huge. Again, we'll wait to see what happens with Wemby, but it's
so let me ask you this real quick. If you put Timmy on today's roster where Victor had, what's the outcome?
You know what? I think he averages the same. I think he averages about the same. No, not the same points as stat line as Wemby did, but I'm saying I think he produces what he did in his rookie season, about that 21.
But do they win? Does he get All-NBA?
Man, that record's really hitting them, huh? Victor,
Hmm.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that record is really impacting them. We shall see. We shall see. It's a great debate. It's a good thing. Who knows? Maybe Rudy will talk about it on his show, Sweep the League on
Try.
YouTube. To hear that, what he has to say, they expand on that topic and more. But unfortunately, here at Locked On Spurs, we gotta keep it short and sweet. But when we get back, we're gonna discuss you guys, the Locked On Spurs fans. What are y'all talking about over at the Locked On Spurs YouTube page? This show episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Hey, look, if you need some, you're just getting better overall in your life, you're thinking about starting online therapy, this is where BetterHelp comes in. Look, BetterHelp, does it all. If you want to improve on things that you're doing right, you want to go to BetterHelp. If you need help getting things off your chest, talking to somebody who's unbiased in your life to, get down to who you are, BetterHelp comes in. So they got it all. Again, it's entirely online. It's designed to be revolving around you, and you can always switch therapists, no questions asked, when you're using BetterHelp. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Again, online only. It's going to be flexible. It's going to be suited to your schedule. And look, I get it. The Spurs are not in the NBA playoffs. Okay, fine. They had a bad season, but sometimes things are bigger than just what's on the court or on the field or on the track, whatever sport there is. uh just use it. It's there for you. If you need to get things off your chest, you want to go to BetterHelp right now. So visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba right now to get yourself 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Hey, I want to talk to you about Monopoly Go. I've been told I'm a competitive person. If you think that, I don't, actually, I don't know if that's even true. I don't think it's true, but apparently that's what they say. All right, fine. Sometimes I do have a competitive side. We all do. And well, your competitive side will be a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring in big money. And the best part, you're just having fun with your friends. You're just messing around with them. You can charge them rent on iconic properties like on classic Monopoly. You can even heist their vault of riches for yourself, and they got leaderboards to show you who's the biggest Monopoly tycoon out there. But it's not just the competitive side that'll love it. My competitive side definitely loves it. You can team up with friends, people around the world, make new friends in timed tournaments to earn huge awards. So right now, go get yourself the game. Join your friends. Download Monopoly Go right now for free on the App Store or Google Play. And we're back with Rudy Campos, the slayer of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The Slayer. I love that
Definitely.
T-shirt, man. That's an awesome T-shirt you got on.
I really don't remember where I found it. But yeah, I found it in the closet and I was like, I think I'm gonna wear this today. And sure enough, I still fits me. Thank God.
Yeah, but it's like, did you hate that when you put clothes on? You're like, oh, I can wear this, and you look in the mirror, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't have this extra spare tire that I wear.
Yeah, I bought it when I lost a lot of weight and I've actually gained a few pounds, so that's why I'm like, I hope it fits. And sure enough, it still fits. It's not as big as it once was, but then again, after a few washes, nothing is ever that big again.
There you go. Yeah, a little stretching out won't
Mhm.
hurt as well. Hey, it's your time to shine, Locked On Spurs fans. We're gonna read some of your comments, and y'all leaving at the Locked On YouTube page. There's plenty of them. We gotta pick two, so here we go. Again, explosive hot dogs. First of all, great
I
handle
know.
there. And two, you're leaving a lot of comments. Keep them coming. So, Rudy, he says, we may not have Wemby highlights for the Spurs right now, but at least the Olympics will give us some new Victor Wembanyama footage. I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about Team France, man. I didn't realize how stacked they are. This is a stacked French team.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got to pull up the roster real quick, but I mean, they are a French team to be reckoned with, especially with Victor Wembanyama. Seeing what he can do on the NBA level is going to actually transition well to the international level. Do you think maybe that they can win a good amount of games at the international
Yeah,
level?
yeah. I think they're going to be a power team for sure, for sure.
I'm trying to
They
bring up
they
that
got
roster.
Yeah. I'm looking for it too right now. But you got Rudy Gobert on the roster. You definitely
Mhm.
have, Victor is going to play, obviously. Who else you got? I think Batum might be playing. I don't think he's officially retired. from the Team France.
I mean, the only guy. I mean, imagine if you saw Tony Parker playing on that squad. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah. I mean, let alone Victor alone is going to make France one of the better teams in the Olympics. There's no doubt about that. I mean, can you imagine trying to score on a Gobert Wembanyama type Twin Towers? I mean, that's kind of what I would love to see in San Antonio, but that definitely won't happen at all.
Yeah, I think is Nando De Colo still playing? I think he's been lighting it up still. Yeah, overseas.
I think he is still playing, man. I think he really is still playing out there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Wemby made it very clear anything less than gold will be for failure. So they're gunning for it, and I think their size might be an issue for just the entire field, not necessarily just Team USA. I think overall it's going to be tough for them. But
I did find. I got a roster, not a complete roster, but it's back from 2019. So let's say a majority of these guys are playing. You're right. Nando De Colo was playing. Nicholas Batum. Evan Fournier is another guy. Rudy Gobert. Frank Ntilikina. I'm sorry. That's right. I got to pronounce it there. Frank Ntilikina, point guard, played for the Knicks. They've got some NBA guys on there. But again, when you've got, a twin tower like a Gobert and a Wembanyama, especially seeing Victor, what he did in his rookie season, you got to pick France as one of the favorites. I mean, the USA's roster is pretty good, but we have yet to see them gel in the past few Olympics, in the past few years. Gold and all, yeah, I get that. But, some of these other teams have been playing together forever, and that's kind of the difference in a lot of these Olympic games. So France definitely has a chance to make some noise.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be fun to just see Victor playing that. He's looking forward to it. It's in France itself. The Olympics are in France. So talk about a lot of pressure on Team France to do well. The good news is I think the host countries, they get buys. So they get an automatic buy in the first round. So at least they'll be there. They'll pass round one there. Thank you, Explosive Hot Dogs, for that comment. And Rudy, everybody else is mentioning about the Klay Thompson episode. Let's just say there's a lot more no's than yeses for Klay Thompson. But here we go. This is from, I'm going to just say, because they're going to try to troll. See, I read the names, but I read it all. I probably would get banned from Locked On Spurs. So this is from Le Cool. I'm going to stop right there. They commented, come on, Klay? I'd rather have Trae Young, I guess he meant instead of having Klay, make that impossible. So I guess lost in translation there, but the point is, LeCool is saying no to Klay. Rudy, just a heads up. There was a lot. Again, I mentioned there's a lot more no's than yeses for Klay Thompson. It wasn't close. It was definitely no, and the big factor is poor performance in the playoffs, age, cost, and I think just not being reliable because of the injury that he suffered. But you're still out there saying give Klay a shot, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I made it clear on the Klay episode that we weren't going to pay, top dollar for him. We weren't paying brand name for him. We were paying, for all you kids out there that don't know, we're paying wins prices from back in the day. So, I mean, we're not paying top dollar for Klay. So if you're able to get him at the 10, 12, $13 million mark, I'm all for that. Why do you say no to that? I mean, yes, again, the other factors don't take what happened this past season into effect on the decision making. Golden State was about to implode already. Golden State was in the back end of their whole dynasty run. Going into the offseason, I mean, hell, you have Steph Curry being mentioned as possible trade out of Golden State. So the season didn't go well for the Warriors. It was just basically Steph on his own. He had help from Kuminga for times. He had help from Pajinski at times. The baton was being passed in Golden State. And again, that factors into players. A new place, a new location can sometimes revitalize a person's career. And I'm just saying, if Klay wants to come to San Antonio, which I doubt he does, he wants to probably be a part of a contender. So if he wants to come and he's going to come on, a real team-friendly discount, give him the opportunity. I mean, you need to surround Victor with shooters. If you want him to be dominant, you got to give him players around him. There's no better shooter in NBA history than Klay Thompson. I mean, he's one of the better shooters ever in NBA history. So, yeah, I would definitely give him a shot at a discounted rate, though. If anything more, no, you don't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm okay with it. It just depends on the sticker price. That's it. That's it. And if he's okay knowing that he's going to have a bench role. I mean, I don't know. Do you start him over Keldon? Do you keep Keldon coming off the bench?
Yeah, I think I said that last time. I'll say it again. If depending on who the roster is, I would start Klay over Keldon. Keldon brings the excitement, the energy off the bench that you need. You want him to come in with that second unit, continue the scoring. He's able to get to the basket. He improved his 3-point shooting. So I mean, Keldon's a guy where I feel that he's the sixth man that the Spurs need. And I would probably put Klay, because Klay's the type of guy is that if you get him going early, that sets his tone for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you guys are leaving a lot of comments. We appreciate it. Keep them coming. We're going to need y'all. It's going to be a long off season, so help generate some talking points here on Locked On Spurs. Rudy, we were mentioning your show, Sweep the League. Tell us about that. I hear you guys are out of hiatus on the Alamo City. What's going on?
Yeah, so we were in hiatus for a while. I tell everybody that we were working on negotiations with the man over there, Joe Garcia, which is not true. We were just having that work got in the way for me. But now we're coming to you every single Friday at 3 o'clock. We have our show, Sweep the League. It goes on for about an hour and a half now. So we're coming to you Fridays for right now, once a week. Me, Derek Irvin, Coach Gio, Joe Garcia is going to be a part of it, Rocky Garza, talking sports. And then actually we couldn't even really talk much sports last Friday for our return. We talked about breakfast tacos, which is a very popular topic in San Antonio. But yeah, join us on the Alamo City Podcast Network. Find us on YouTube, Sweep the League, every single Friday, 3 to 4.
Absolutely. And you can get all that and more by following Rudy on X at Sweep the League. So make sure you do that right now. Look, he took out Stay Puffed. You don't want to get him angry. You don't want to. He finds out you didn't follow him. He knocked out the god. I mean, he was a god, wasn't he? Stay Puffed ultimately.
Yeah, basically he was a god. He was a god in a Stay Puffed body, I think is what it was, or something like that. So yeah. I am the god killer. What is the god? Who's the god killer from Thor? That's who I am.
Oh, it was Gore the butcher.
The god
so
butcher.
You're Rudy, the Stay Puffed Butcher.
Yeah, the Stay. I didn't need no lasers or anything like that.
Rudy, he'll probably break out some graham crackers, some chocolates, just get a piece of the Stay Puft.
Before I get to work, just get a little bit of s'mores going.
Exactly. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Follow him on X at Sweep the League. Hey, we're done talking. We want to hear from you. What do you think about the topics today? A big one. I wish we had a lot more time to discuss it. But Wemby versus TD, who had the better rookie season? You can let us know on Locked On Spurs YouTube page. We told you how you can let and talk to Rudy as well. And we'll be back tomorrow discussing all things silver and black. Yeah, we're still going to keep on going, even though the offseason is here. We will start slowing down soon, but not quite yet. But for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.